Hey Capricorn, I just pulled some cards for you and honestly what came through is pretty intense. There is someone in your life right now who is actively working to keep certain truths away from you. They think if they can control the narrative, they can control the outcome. But here's the thing that the universe wants you to know today. The truth has a way of revealing itself regardless of what anyone tries to hide. And you Capricorn, you are about to receive clarity that changes everything. So I shuffled the deck with your energy in mind, and the first card that came forward is the Two of Pentacles. This card is fascinating because it is literally showing me someone who is juggling multiple versions of reality right now. There is a person connected to you who is trying to balance two completely different stories. On one hand, they are presenting themselves to you in a certain way, showing you one face, one set of intentions. But on the other hand, there is a whole other situation happening behind the scenes that they are desperately trying to keep separate from what you see. The Two of Pentacles here is not about your juggling act, it is about theirs. They are working overtime to keep these two realities from colliding because they know the moment you see the full picture, their whole carefully constructed facade falls apart. What strikes me most about this card in your reading is the exhausting energy of it. This person is putting so much effort into maintaining this balance, into keeping you in the dark. Every conversation with you requires them to remember what they said, what they did not say, which version of events they gave you. They are constantly adjusting, constantly recalibrating. And here's what they do not realize. That kind of deceptive juggling is not sustainable. Eventually one of those balls drops, and when it does, everything comes tumbling down. The universe is showing me that you are already starting to sense that something is off. Maybe you cannot put your finger on it exactly, but there is this nagging feeling that you are not getting the complete story. Trust that instinct, Capricorn, because your intuition is picking up on the instability of their balancing act. The Five of Wands jumped out next, and oh, this card is telling such a specific story. There is conflict happening around you that you are not fully aware of. What I mean by that is there are people having conversations about you, making decisions that affect you, possibly even arguing or competing over situations that involve you. But they are deliberately keeping you out of these discussions. The Five of Wands represents struggle and competition, and in this context it is showing me that while you might see surface-level peace or normalcy, there is actually quite a bit of chaos and discord happening in spaces you do not have access to. This could manifest in so many ways. Maybe it is workplace dynamics where decisions about your position or projects are being debated without your input. Maybe it is family situations where people are discussing matters that directly impact you but nobody is bringing you into the conversation. Or this could be relationship dynamics where a third party is involved in conversations about your connection with someone and you have no idea these discussions are even taking place. The energy of the Five of Wands tells me that these conflicts are not small or insignificant. These are substantial disagreements or competitions that have real consequences for your life and future. But here is the powerful part of this card appearing in your reading. The Five of Wands also represents the moment before clarity comes. See, all this hidden conflict and competition cannot stay hidden forever. The very nature of the Five of Wands energy is that it is loud, it is messy, it is hard to contain. These people think they can keep their disputes, and they're scheming away from your awareness, but the cards are saying that this energy is about to break through into your conscious awareness. You are going to find out what has been happening behind closed doors, and when you do, you are going to understand so much about behaviors and situations that previously confused you. Moving into the Six of Swords, and this is where your reading takes a really interesting turn. The Six of Swords is traditionally about transition and moving away from difficulty into calmer waters. In the context of someone hiding truth from you, this card is revealing that there is a journey happening that you are not being told about. Someone is making plans to move on, to transition, to leave something behind, and they are doing this without informing you, even though their decision will significantly affect you. This is not about a physical move necessarily, although it could be. More often, the Six of Swords represents emotional or mental transition, a decision to move away from a situation or connection. What makes this particularly relevant to your reading today is that the Six of Swords shows me someone who has already made up their mind about something major, but they are still pretending like things are uncertain or undecided when they interact with you. They have mentally and emotionally already moved into the next chapter, but they are keeping you in the previous chapter. still having you believe that outcomes are up in the air when in fact this person has already charted their course. The deception here is one of timing and transparency. They know what they are going to do, they might even know when they are going to do it, but they are choosing to keep you in a state of not knowing because it serves their purposes for you to remain unaware a little longer. The frustrating part about the Six of Swords appearing here is that this person probably justifies their secrecy by telling themselves they are protecting you or waiting for the right time or some other rationalization. But the truth is they are controlling information to control circumstances. They want to be the one who decides when you find out because they want to manage your reaction and your response. What they do not understand is that by the time they finally reveal their hand, you will have already figured out so much more than they realize. The Six of Swords promises that you will navigate these troubled waters successfully, but it also confirms that there is definitely something being withheld from you right now that involves someone else's decision to move in a new direction. Then the Tower came through, and I have to be straight with you, Capricorn. When the Tower shows up in a reading about hidden truths, it means that the revelation coming your way is going to be sudden and it is going to shake foundations. The Tower does not represent gentle discoveries or soft truths that ease their way into your awareness. No, the Tower is about those moments when everything you thought you knew gets turned upside down in an instant. Someone has been building a structure of lies or half-truths or careful omissions, and that structure is about to come crashing down. The Tower is the universe's way of saying that whatever is being hidden from you cannot and will not stay hidden much longer. What I find really significant about the Tower in your spread is that this card often appears not when we gradually figure something out, but when something external happens that forces the truth into the light. This might not be you slowly piecing together clues until you solve the mystery. Instead, this looks more like circumstances beyond anyone's control suddenly revealing what has been concealed. Maybe someone else spills the truth accidentally. Maybe evidence surfaces that cannot be explained away. Maybe the person doing the hiding makes a mistake that exposes everything. The Tower has this quality of inevitability to it. The revelation is coming, and no amount of careful planning or damage control is going to stop it. Now I want to be clear about something. The Tower gets a bad reputation because it represents disruption and shock, but the destruction the Tower brings is always destruction of something that needed to fall anyway. Yes, finding out you have been lied to or kept in the dark is painful and shocking, but living in a false reality is worse. The Tower clears away illusions so you can build on solid truth instead of shaky lies. This card is promising you that very soon you will have a level of clarity and understanding that you do not have right now, and even though the process of getting that clarity might be intense, you are going to be grateful for it in the long run. The Tower is not punishment, it is liberation from deception. The King of Swords appeared, and this is such a powerful card for you right now, Capricorn. The King of Swords represents truth, clarity, intellectual authority, and cutting through nonsense to get to facts. In your reading, this card has a dual meaning. First, it is showing me that there is someone in this situation who knows the full truth. This might be a person who has information you do not have, someone who sees the whole picture while you only have fragments. This King of Swords figure could be someone who is part of the deception, or it could be someone who is aware of it but has not yet decided to tell you what they know. Either way, there is a person who holds key information and wields it like the sword this king carries. But the second and more important meaning of the King of Swords in your reading is that this card represents you stepping into your power. Capricorn, you are naturally analytical and strategic. You do not make accusations without evidence. You do not jump to conclusions. You observe, you assess, you think things through. The King of Swords is telling me that you are about to activate those qualities in a major way. You are going to approach this situation with the clarity and objectivity that this king embodies. When the truth does come out and the Tower moment happens, you are not going to fall apart or get lost in emotion. Instead, you are going to put on your King of Swords energy, and you are going to look at the facts clearly and make decisions from a place of mental strength and authority. This card is also a reminder that you have the intellectual capacity to handle whatever truth is coming your way. Sometimes we are kept in the dark because people underestimate our ability to deal with reality. They think we cannot handle the truths, so they decide for us what we should and should not know. But the King of Swords says no, You are more than capable of facing whatever this is. You are strong enough and clear-headed enough to receive difficult information and process it effectively. This card is your confirmation that you are ready for what is about to be revealed, even if the people hiding things from you do not think you are. Now the Knight of Cups came through, and this card completely shifted the energy of your reading. The Knight of Cups is about romantic offers, emotional proposals, someone coming forward with their feelings or intentions. In the context of someone not wanting you to know the truth, the Knight of Cups is revealing something fascinating. There is someone who has romantic or emotional feelings for you that they have not disclosed. But here is the complicated part. The reason they have not disclosed these feelings is not because they are shy or uncertain. It is because there are circumstances that make revealing their feelings inconvenient or problematic. Right now, the Knight of Cups often represents someone who is quite charming and emotionally expressive, but in your reading, this Knight is being held back or is holding themselves back. There might be existing commitments, relationship situations, professional boundaries, or other factors that make this person feel like they cannot openly express what they feel for you. So instead of being honest and direct, they are keeping their true feelings hidden while still finding ways to be around you or interact with you. This creates a weird energy where you might sense something, but you cannot quite name it because they are being so careful not to fully reveal themselves. What makes the Knight of Cups particularly interesting here is that this card suggests that this person's feelings are genuine. This is not manipulation or game playing. They truly feel something for you, but they have decided for whatever reason that you should not know about it yet. Maybe they think the timing is wrong. Maybe they are afraid of consequences. Maybe they are waiting for circumstances to change. But the presence of this card in a reading about hidden truth tells me that these feelings are part of what is being concealed from you, and eventually you are going to find out that someone has been carrying a torch for you while pretending they were not. The Nine of Swords showed up, and I have to tell you, Capricorn, this card gives me chills in this reading. The Nine of Swords is the card of anxiety, sleepless nights, mental torment, and worry. In the context of someone hiding truth from you, this card is revealing the psychological state of the person doing the hiding. They are not sleeping well. They are plagued by guilt and anxiety. They are constantly worried about you finding out what they have been concealing. Every time they interact with you, there is this underlying stress because they know they are living a lie, and they are terrified of the moment when everything unravels. The Nine of Swords tells me that keeping this secret is destroying this person's peace of mind. They might appear calm and normal on the surface, but internally they are a mess. They wake up in the middle of the night replaying conversations, wondering if they slipped up, imagining worst-case scenarios of you discovering the truth. This card often appears when the burden of deception becomes almost unbearable. And here's what is interesting about that. When someone reaches this Nine of Swords level of mental torment, they are usually very close to either confessing or making a mistake that exposes everything. The psychological pressure is building to an unsustainable level. But there is another layer to the Nine of Swords in your reading. This card can also represent you and your own intuitive anxiety. You know something is off even if you do not know exactly what it is. You have had moments where your mind races with possibilities and suspicions. You have lost sleep over trying to figure out what you are sensing but cannot prove. The Nine of Swords validates that your anxiety is not paranoia. There really is something hidden, and your subconscious mind has picked up on the signs and signals even though your conscious mind does not have all the pieces yet. This card is telling you to trust those moments of knowing, those gut feelings that something is not adding up because your intuition is absolutely correct. The Ace of Swords burst through, and Capricorn, this is one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck for what you are dealing with right now. The Ace of Swords is pure truth, breakthrough, clarity, the moment when everything suddenly makes sense. This is the sword that cuts through all the confusion and deception and reveals exactly what is real. After all these cards showing hidden agendas and concealed truths, the Ace of Swords is your promise from the universe that you are about to receive a massive download of clarity and understanding. The Ace of Swords does not represent gradual realization. This is sudden knowing. This is the moment when a piece of information comes to you and suddenly everything clicks into place. All those little things that did not quite make sense, all those weird coincidences, all those moments where you felt confused, They are all about to organize themselves into a clear picture of truth. The Ace of Swords is mental breakthrough energy, and it is telling me that you are about to experience one of those aha moments that changes your entire perspective on a situation or person. What I love about the Ace of Swords appearing in your reading is that this card represents your power being returned to you. When you are kept in the dark, you are powerless because you cannot make informed decisions. You cannot protect yourself. You cannot move forward effectively. But the moment you have truth, you have power. The Ace of Swords is the universe handing you the sword of truth and saying, here, now you know everything you need to know. Now you can make clear decisions based on reality instead of based on what someone wanted you to believe. This card is liberation and empowerment through knowledge. The timing on the Ace of Swords suggests that this breakthrough is imminent. We are not talking about months from now. This clarity is coming soon, and when it does, it is going to be undeniable and absolute. You will not have to wonder or second guess. You will simply know. And once you know, you cannot unknow. That is the permanence of the Ace of Swords. Once truth is revealed, it cannot be hidden again. This card is telling you to prepare yourself, mentally and emotionally, because you are about to know everything you have been kept from knowing, and it is going to shift your reality significantly. Finally, the Seven of Cups came through as the last card in your reading, and this is such a perfect ending card for what you are going through. The Seven of Cups is about illusions, fantasies, having too many options, and not knowing which is real. In the context of everything we have looked at, the Seven of Cups is showing me that the person who has been hiding truth from you has been feeding you illusions. They have been presenting you with a fantasy version of reality, showing you what they want you to see rather than what actually is. The Seven of Cups represents all the false options, the misleading possibilities, the scenarios that look appealing but are not based in truth. This card often appears when someone has been telling us what we want to hear rather than what is actually true. Maybe they have been making promises they cannot keep or do not intend to keep. Maybe they have been presenting a version of themselves that is not authentic. Maybe they have been creating illusions of commitment or interest or integrity that do not match their actual character or actions. The Seven of Cups is showing me that you have been given multiple versions of reality, and it has been confusing trying to figure out which one is true. That confusion was intentional. The more confused you are, the less likely you are to see through to the actual truth. But here is the hopeful message of the Seven of Cups at the end of your reading. This card also represents the moment when illusions drop away, and you can finally see clearly which cup contains something real and which cups are just smoke and mirrors. After the Ace of Swords brings you that breakthrough clarity, the Seven of Cups tells me you are going to look back at all the illusions you were fed, and you are going to see them for exactly what they were. All those pretty promises, all those carefully crafted explanations, all those versions of events that never quite added up, you are going to recognize them as illusions they always were. And once you can see the difference between illusion and reality, you can make empowered choices about what you want to engage with going forward. So Capricorn, here is what the cards are telling you about this situation where someone does not want you to know the truth, but you are getting it anyway. There is definitely deception happening. Someone is actively working to keep you in the dark about something significant. They are juggling multiple realities, hiding conflicts and decisions from you, making plans without your knowledge, and feeding you illusions instead of facts. But their efforts to conceal truth are already starting to crumble. The pressure of maintaining deception is becoming unbearable. The Tower moment of revelation is approaching, and when that truth finally comes to light, you are going to receive it with the clarity and strength of the King of Swords. You are going to experience that Ace of Swords breakthrough where suddenly everything makes perfect sense. And you are going to see through all the Seven of Cups illusions that kept you confused for so long. The universe wants you to know that you are about to be empowered by truth. Yes, the process might be uncomfortable, and yes, you might discover things that are disappointing or painful, but knowledge is always better than deception. Living in truth, even difficult truth, is always superior to living in comfortable lies. These cards are preparing you for a major revelation and assuring you that you have the strength and clarity to handle whatever comes to light. Trust your intuition, pay attention to the signs, and know that very soon you will have all the information you need to make clear and empowered decisions about your path forward. The truth is coming, Capricorn, and no one can stop it now.